Right, if you just joined us, you're still watching Enterprise Morning, reaching you from our Lagos office and Enterprise Television. It is. Now to our main conversation for today. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, the SIRAP, has urged the Senate President and Speaker of the House of Representatives to disclose the exact amount of monthly running costs paid to National Assembly members and ensure transparency in spending. The SIRAP also wants the practice of fixing salaries, allowances, and running costs by lawmakers to end, as it violates the Nigerian constitution and international obligations. Additionally, SIRAP requests that any misused or mismanaged funds be returned and that appropriate anti-corruption agencies investigate and prosecute where necessary. The organization emphasized the importance of accountability, transparency, and honesty in the management of public resources. That's what we have for today. Now let's get to our conversation. And still with me in the studio, so we have Pastor Van Sufeli and Olusegun Okwade. Thank you, gentlemen, for hanging on. And joining us right about now is Emeka Madunagu, a journalist and public affairs analyst. Good morning, Emeka.
Morning.
And welcome. All right, so let's get into the crux of the matter here. This has been a trendy a story making rounds on different platforms, traditional and of course the new media, and that borders around and how much our parliaments take home at the end of the day. And the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has said that each of the 109 senators in the upper chambers receive a total of 1,600,000 in salary and allowances per month. But of course, it's been disputed on different quarters. Emeka, who do we believe in this particular story?
You see, first of all, I've called again and again that agency should be scrapped.
Which agency exactly?
The RMAFC, and merged with the Income, Wages and Salaries Commission. We don't need two bodies, defining salaries in the country. It's abnormal. It's not proper. That's one. Secondly, I cast my mind back to Abbas around 2002, when this whole mess started. When the National Assembly was, fighting for, the right to fix his own salaries and all of that. I did some reports, about all that, the fiasco and everything, They were trying to untwist then President Olusegun Obasanjo, to force him to allow them some leverage, fixing certain things. And then that's how you had hardship allowance. The chairman or whatever, the head of the agency was called, the late Haman Tuko, gave them so much, were just very ready to cooperate with the lawmakers, and all of that. You had a lot of really close. That's why you now got to a point where there was a trendy story in the media. Then social media was not part of the discussion. You had Jumbo Pay.
Yes.
There were many stories. We wrote many stories about Jumbo Pay, going back and forth. So the thing is this: those lawmakers, section N of the third schedule to the Constitution says that it's that commission that should fix salaries, allowances for legislators, and different categories of public officers. Now, they introduce running costs, but according to public service rules, you cannot pay any public fund into a private account. There must be a procedure. You have a National Assembly Service Commission through which all these running costs and others should be sent. You make requisition, and then the money is given to you. Then at the end of the assignment, you retire the money. But all of these things have been thrown out of the window. So both the agency, RMAFC, and the National Assembly are in breach of the law.
Now, talking about the agency, ensuring that salaries are mapped up and all. The question here is not about the agency stipulating what goes to who. It's about, like he said, the jumbo pay. Right? They've come up to say each parliament or parliamentarian takes home a million plus. But of course, the parliamentarians themselves have come up to say we take as much as 21 million naira, and that is the crux of the matter here. What Nigerians are asking, why would our parliamentarians take that much when, of course, they don't see them doing anything for their local communities?
Yeah, you see, Ramfak came out to say they are actually set up to fix salary, but not empower to monitor the compliance of what they do. So the 1,063,000, if I believe that's what an average senator is collecting in this country, nobody will want to go and carry posts that wants to go to the Senate House. But thank God that some of them came out, maybe in the face to be seen as a good child, to say, oh, no, it's not 1 million, no, I think as much as 21 million. Then the Sani first came during his own tenure to say 13 million. And we had about this. You see, the truth of the issue is we have laws in this country, and those that make the law are the first set of people that breaks the law. So when those that makes the law, that is meant for the populace, break the law, who penalize them? You are talking about what is happening at the National Assembly that are supposed to be those that will bring out the law. What would you say about the common man? Police officer driving one way. Are they not the one to enforce the law that has actually been made not to do? The problem is there are no consequences for wrongdoing. And when you have a system or a community or a nation where that is the bedrock of everything, everything does whatever they like. That is the crop of it. Whatever grammar we want to speak here, somebody will see that this cup is not supposed to be here. If you correct him that this is what the law of this organization say, and you take off your eyes from it without punishing him for doing that wrongdoing, I can tell you that other staff will carry the cup and put it elsewhere, and nothing will happen. And that's where we found ourselves where we are today. This that Serap is asking for the National Assembly to give us accountability, we've been on it for long. They've taken them to the court. The court have actually, you know, the number of judgment they've gotten against some of these leaders that have not actually been implemented. The problem we have is until we start dealing with people that have that conscience to say it's not, they know the law and they know that these funds that they are collecting is really not justifiable. These are the same set of people that will go on recess for 3 months. Can you try it in this office? They'll go 3 months, they'll go another 1 month. And that's why some of us have been advocating, you are big enough to run this office on part-time. You are big enough for you to put your resources together that you want to go and contest to be a senator or a member of House of Rep or House of Assembly. It's not a child's play. You can run this office if indeed it's about service to humanity and to the country on part-time.
But Orji has actually asked for that, but of course it was disputed. You know, people made jest of him. You know,
they will
asked for that.
They will make jest of him because they know what they get. Henry, you are here today. If we all put resources together and we send it to National Assembly, your story will change. As a matter of fact, when they invite people there, and you see people that have actually been opposing, we ask ourselves the question, what suddenly changed? You've been part of the people that have been advocating. I say, some will come and tell you that, you see, the government is trying, you see that you are just saying, and I say, all of a sudden, things are, it's because when you do the wrongdoing, the man is looking for where to catch up with and benefit himself. Because you see somebody with just 1 or 2 vehicles coming into government office, and after maybe 1 year or 2 years, he has about 4 buildings to himself, he has fleets of vehicles, he has more, they don't even create businesses in the country here. These are areas we need to. Serap will come, they will raise the noise, they will take them to court, but the people to actually implement, to enforce the judgment, even gotten by the court. We don't do that. Everybody will just look at it and pass, and that is where we need to address. And nobody will do it. It must start from the head. When you are found culpable, we saw there that they are saying mismanagement of funds, misappropriation of funds, humanitarian agency. Where are we on it today? I think that is still fresh. I can talk about that one, about this administration. Are you hearing anything about it? The answer is no.
All right, so let's
That's
talk
what
about
my
this.
people will say with in law.
Very true. Now let's talk about the sincerity of those who are helping and representing us in the two houses of assembly. Orji, like I did mention, asked that or requested that there should be part-time legislative services by Nigerians. Now the question is there sincerity in what he had said? If it is, then why didn't he allow that, get a sponsorship in the house?
I don't think he was sincere. If he was sincere, he wouldn't have brought it by a motion. He would have brought it by a bill. So he just wanted to be talking, just want to talk. And he was thrown out. That motion was thrown out instantly at the house. He didn't want land. He didn't gain water. Because if he had brought it as a bill, and then, even if he does not succeed in anything, to succeed first reading.
But what does it take to bring that as a bill? What does it take to have that?
As a senator now, he will put it into writing, entrench it, show the high points and the low points, okay, and then define in clear terms how this will project the cost of governance as against what we have. How this is of an advantage over the current full-time job they do, okay? But he didn't do all that. He just stood up in the house like an afterthought. Maybe a lot of people have spoken that day and he has not said anything. I just said, he just brought a motion. I've seen motions that gain credibility that became a bill 2 weeks later. You understand? This one, is sensitive. It's a lot. There will be a lot of opposition. It only requires those who are philosophical to understand that the elite must commit at every time what we call class suicide. Because what this man did now, the man that voiced out that he collected 21 million and Shehu Sani, it was a theory that was propounded by Cabra, who talked about class suicide. Class suicide is when you enjoy the perk of society as an elite, but because you have empathy for the masses, you are now calling for the review of that thing you enjoy, that it should be reduced and passed down to the masses, or it should be taken away completely and passed down to the masses. It's called class suicide. Now, this guy who said, I received 21 million, that's what he has done. Now, he did that, and we're asking the question, the Revenue Mobilization of School Commission, whatever, and the senator who have now said, this is what I earn. Who should we believe? That's how you started the program. Okay. I choose to believe the senator who told us what he earns. Okay. And he particularly said that is what the principal members earn more than that. Because they are the ones fixing all these allowances. They know what you earn, but you don't know what they earn. Okay, so when you see them voicing out, sometimes as a result of protest, may not necessarily be as a result of class suicide. Now, if you look at the third schedule of the 1999 Constitution, you see how clear it's stated there that this is the operation. The revenue mobilization will have to do this. Okay, when you look at the UN Convention on Anti-Corruption, it is stated there that it is a duty of government to ensure that the commonwealth of the country is distributed evenly, to the people. Now, when you look at section 16, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution, it said the government shall steer the economy in such a way that, that will guarantee prosperity for all. You understand? So these disparities, they're actually against contravention to the Constitution in chapter 2. And because it's SERAP is now of the view that they should give an account, they should make a transparent account, because it is wrong for you to pay public funds into private and vice versa. Okay? And that the lawmakers cannot begin to fix their own allowances. Because what the senator just said I earn now is far and above what the commission, fixed for them to earn. And because they have oversight function, and because you also know that they have capacity to look at the bill, the appropriation bill, and struck deals. Part of why Nengi was suspended was because he talked about pardon. That issue was not investigated. He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. He protested because of the uneven distribution of that pardon. Not because he was altruistic or because he was committing a class suicide. You understand? Now, but at the end of the day, what you have, Serap is pushing for this. This is part of what the entire country should protest against. Because this is part of the hunger, bad governance. Okay? You cannot fix funds yourself. It is illegal. So I think what we should do to support Serap, mobilize ourselves against these lawmakers and ensure that they do the right things. Because if you keep allowing them to fix their own salary, very soon they will fix us out of relevance.
Now, talking about fixing us out of irrelevance, the political metaphor, a rubber stamp legislature, it is there. It is practiced in different parts of the world. But coming to Nigeria itself, do you think it's possible to have our parliamentarians, answer to these questions that have been asked by civil society organizations?
Well, why not? It's the duty of the civil society, the media, to ask the NBA and others, to ask questions, to demand accountability. It's our duty to do that.
And do you think they will be forthcoming?
You see,
in answering that?
Look at the issue with China. Zongfu now that are taking the Nigerian government to court. This thing arose from Ogun State. When Amosu, then Governor Bikinu Amosu, was just doing things arbitrarily, did he realize that a day of reckoning will come? Now they're saying Zongfu, the posters, they are this. You can use all the words you like. Look, you are not standing before a Nigerian court, you are standing before internationally acknowledged jurists, highly respected jurists. So, and they're in countries in the UK, in France, in US. So, you are dealing with people who will enforce court judgments. And so, if they like, let them not step back. The day of reckoning will come. And you know what? Look at James Ibori's case. It was the UK that helped us settle it. And there is still another case involving James Ibori in UK court over a huge sum of money. It was reported some months back that is fighting against the repatriation of that money into Nigeria.
Now, when you talk about the day of reckoning would come, are you saying that there possibly would be a systematic implosion that would be witnessed to ensure that this, doesn't, come up again?
No, you see, take the past 25 years, at least. I was a witness to military rule. I was a witness to civilian rule under Shagari. I was a witness to military rule, far back before Shagari. And the rest of the Obasanjo and the Moitana movement go on, Obasanjo, go down to today. So, I can just tell you that, you see, what goes around will surely come around in this country. It's just a matter of time. I gave you the example of Zongfu. You understand? When Amosu took that decision, he didn't think of the likely implications. Now, these people, when Haman took up, Allah helped them, fix hardship allowance and all of these things. He's late now, but he did think that one day Nigerians will demand account. And that these people will go from the small money they were fixing for themselves then to this huge amount, 21 million naira running cost. What are you running? Are you running a factory? Are you running a coal mine or a gold mine or something that you are asking for 21 million monthly?
They are running corruption. That's what they are doing.
They have actually come up to emphasize. The
Revenue Commission, the irony in this whole thing that the Revenue Commission has said, each senator, this is what you are worth, 1.063 million monthly. But you have now, out of your own greed, elevated your own value to 21 million. So 21 plus 1.
Per month.
That's 22 million per month. Now, what is your input? Because I'm in the private sector. You have to match input with output. If you are expecting 22 million a month, it means, like for me, as a trader, as an entrepreneur, if I look at it as a trader, if you're expecting 22 million a month, it means you are going to be bringing in like 500 million a month.
But of course, Mr. Sheso, you know, this is not, the governance is not a business.
Why do you say? Why would you say that?
I wanted to tell him that
Because I feel
that's the area I wanted to that's the major problem we are facing.
because the reason I'm actually saying this is a bit different. The senators have come up to say that they have lots of people who are feeding off them. You know, most of them cover about 2 to 3, 4 local governments, and when they visit those places, they have school fees to pay, they have house rents to pay for people, they have palliatives to give, and so on and so forth. And that is the reason the 21 million naira allegedly is there for them. Well, I don't know. Do you buy that submission?
That submission is wrong.
Who is auditing that?
Even that submission is wrong. They are the same set of people that we all learn from. Because some of them happens to be either our mates or a few seniors that are ahead of us that don't give a man fish, teaching how to fish. That's why I say, don't give us money to say you want to pay the school fees. Make the school, people like us, they didn't pay our school fees. I keep telling everyone that came to know, I didn't go to a private school. If you are very conversant with Lagos, you know Ojota very well. Yes. I attended Ojota Secondary School. And that was during the period of Baba Jakonde that they gave us free education. Why didn't Jakonde go and pay my dad money? If he had given that money to my dad, the man would have used it to take beer. Well, those are parents, those are things that they have fun doing. But the man said no, rather than making that, I will make your children great by creating an enabling environment for him to read. They provided books, those are things that they are doing. Don't pay people school fees. Empower the parent. It was free education, and up till now they are still using that as a campaign gimmick to say we'll give you free education. But then Jakonde was not paying those fees. They were making those areas, even when it's free, if we need to pay anything, the parent will pay joyously because the environment, you are talking about paying them school fees, paying them do they even have food to eat at home? A child has gone to school, you pay the school fee, but the child cannot have anything to eat. And how will he be able to concentrate reading? So all this idea of saying that we get this pay, they queue up, they decided to do that. They impoverish the people the more, and they are not helping the system. Because by the time you leave there, these people still look up to you. Their money will be coming from you. Why can't you make me to be independent? I'm forever grateful to late Lateef Jakonde for that which he did, because I know my background. If that education slot was not there, what is the state of our public schools these days? Practically every one of us in this room are sending our children to private school, and we know what we pay, but we attended that same public school with quality teachers. These days, some people will tell you as you seem to school in Abbas. Also, I attended a public school because then we have the quality. That was a leveler. The only schools we have during our days are those schools in the Kenya Mayflower, where you know is the I am mighty. Corona was not in existence when people like us were there who can afford them. They made those schools to be a leveler. So both the middle class, the poor, all of us are there, and we have quality education. They should come off this idea of saying they are paying people's school fees, they are giving them palliative. We don't need those palliative. Create an environment where that woman that didn't go to school, that has learned one trade, can empower herself of things to do to feed the family. These are things they should do. They should come off of this sharing money. We've said it. We don't want palliative. The rice that they said they've shared, did you get a cup? Not to even talk of a pan. A friend called me that they brought one paint of this 5-liter paint to their community. of over 2,000 people. How will they share it? Is it they are going to be counting? Don't do that. Create the enabling environment where a business like this can grow to say, okay, we are here today, we'll be in another place tomorrow, and employ more people. Where I can look at my business and see where to grow. That is the area that will be saying that you are impacted. Stop dishing out this money. How many of them with the money that they convert it to dollar and wire to the foreign country and go and be enjoying themselves? They will be on recess and they will be out of the country. How many of them domesticate their vacation and make sure that they are within the country to spend that? Right. Without they are contributing to the bottom line of this country. They should come up for data again. If they are earning the 1 million, use the remaining 21 or 20 million to invest in the people. How many of them are businessmen? They will come in as businessmen before they enter into the house. As soon as they now turn politics to be a field and abandon their major businesses that they did not even contributing to it to make sure that those employers there have the best that they should do. This is what we expect from the government, and not this atmosphere of sharing money.
Very true. While we get ready to drop our anchor, cost of governance. How do we reduce it? Of course, we have talked about on this show unicameral legislature. Do you think that is the best answer at this time?
Well, unicameral legislature will reduce cost of governance, definitely, because then you will be running a one-chamber legislative system as against running two here where you have a... But the big problem with our society is that our institutions are extractive. You see the National Assembly now, 21 million naira for one person. It's an extractive mentality. We don't give back to our community. We're not empowering people, okay? We disempower the people. Then one person will take 21 million. One person will embezzle money that a whole institution that is budgeted for a whole institution to address poverty, for example. The disaster minister and management, whatever it is. We saw how she took on this fund. The one before the current and the current one, who is now suspended, the same ministry, the same attitude, the same outcome. So when we keep our system that way, where everything is about extraction, there's a way you extract even mineral resources. The way you extract it up, you get to a point where you will hit a brick wall. There will be nothing left any longer to extract. So
unicameral legislature can solve the problem. That's what you say.
Unicameral legislature is a way to go. It's a way to go because what the House of Rep and the upper house, what they are doing, it's not. I mean, in a year, how many times do they sit in a year?
141 days.
141 days in a year. Okay, and in that 141 days, out of over 300 and something days, so you sit less than 1%. Of the is it one? Yeah,
181 days.
Yes,
out of 365 days.
Out of 365. So and then you earn. What it means is that in some months you may not sit more than 2-3 times. Yes. You understand? So the time.
It's not even compulsory that they all come.
No, it's not compulsory. Many of them. I know a senator that lived in the US. He didn't come for almost the whole legislative year. You understand? So, I mean, it is constituency that's supposed to recall her. Sometimes the constituency don't even know whether she's at the floor or not. During your Obasanjo's time, they listed, they gave a list, the media gave a list of dead senators. Those who have never contributed anything. One of my senators made it to the list then. Late Senator Osakwe, that headed one of the committees on whatever it is. So he was part of them. He never contributed anything, just there looking. Then the senator from Abia, Oji, suggested to the House, the first time he spoke during his long stay there as a dead senator, he said that there should be institute of chartered politicians. That the Senate he was proposing through a motion, not even a serious human being, institute of chartered politicians, that politicians should now have chartered, just like chartered accountants. You now have chartered politicians. You see? So when you have senator, you see, a senator, Socrates, a senator should be one that is philosophic. If you see, it's every leader, if you have to lead a constituency, You must be a philosopher. You will not know what you are doing. That's the truth. If you are not, that is why you have people making this kind of suggestion. You cannot legislate. You cannot lead people proper if you are not well grounded, if you are not altruistic, if you are not people driven. So when next we go to the polls, that is what we should be telling the electors. But what do we have? The electors are worse off, because the electors, they get to the polls and sell their vote to the highest bidder. And the highest bidder is not always the one with the intellection that is required to govern. So at the end of the day, what you have is just push, keep pushing. Even if you create this one system, one chamber system, the competition to get in there will now be tighter. Okay? Then it's only those who are money bags that will be able to get in there. And when they get in there, they will reenact what you have already, what you have now. You understand? So this
unfortunately, some aides to parliamentarians have come to defend their principles, and they've said that in the United States, for example, parliamentarians they take home $172,000 a year.
How much the budget of the United States?
What is the GDP of the United States?
What is the population?
There are about 300 million people in America.
There are congressmen who sleep in the offices. When I went to US 2001, I interviewed a congressman. I worked, at least I've been to the Nigerian National Assembly, I've been to the US Congress. Honestly, the Nigerian National Assembly is more flamboyant too.
Yes.
The only thing is that outside, as you approach, because you see a lot of maple,
Yes.
public offices, they use a lot of maple.
And you see the library
They
of
are very
Congress.
beautiful. But when you enter the office of a congressman, you see books, everywhere, books. The usual normal table and everything, their aides are just simple people. You don't see any, but some sleep in the office. You are on the street. If you go into a restaurant around, Capitol Hill, you can meet a senator. All these senators here, you see them on the street.
Yes,
you
yes.
Hello, congressman. They are free. There's no police, nothing. You are in the train. You enter the same train. All of you stand together. You are walking on the corridor. There is nothing like give way for everybody's walking together. This John Kerry. We're on the corridor, 2001, we're on the corridor, moving together. We went for a hearing, Senate hearing, the way they were grilling from the US.
And they read.
The moment of
That's why they argue
about they were grilling them seriously about certain issues, about Afghanistan. They were grilling them, see the way they were firing them. Senators, everybody sat down because they know there's nothing flamboyant. So our problem here is that we like to deceive ourselves that there is money to spend, and there is no money. 240 million per year for each person as running costs. Multiply that times 109. That will build some schools, build hospitals, build roads, and then you are giving people palliatives. These people are just plain armed robbers.
Maybe I will tell Neka that don't let you see there is money in this country.
No, money
is
real money lies in the usage, in the brains, not paper. I'm sorry, because your sector, there's something.
There's money that taking
loans. Your sector, the real money, governments can steal so much money and they just go there, print money, distribute everywhere. We think there's money. The real money for me
is value.
Is the value that comes from here, not. Having money to distribute to people. After eating today, how will they eat tomorrow?
It's the area where we said that we lack that value. Yes. But what I meant by that, those funds are there because we lack the value. Yeah. The little resources that are available are now in the hands of very few that are using that to even impoverish the people. If what we have currently, people have that value that we are talking about, I can tell you Nigeria is the best place to be. Because we are endowed with everything you need to talk about: human capital, natural resources.
It's a very lovely country. You can come out from this office now and start to urinate and you got there. You can tight in England. You've been prison for 12 years. You'll be surprised.
Very true.
You understand?
Neighboring African countries.
People are left on the expressway.
That beggar. I saw a video where the commissioner of environment was claiming that a particular beggar, and he claimed and said, I was just telling my wife while we were going there, I said,
I saw the video where they cleaned this place. So was it last week or 2 weeks ago? He said, let me know when they look at the side. He said, oh, but they don't.
The moment he finished, I will come and stood there and start with the video.
Well, that is the Nigeria that we have, unfortunately.
It's energy now.
Energy.
They are wasting it.
Well, that is the reality we have. We see ourselves, unfortunately, but of course, Nigeria remains ours, and it is our duty to make it great. Of course, that is the situation that we found ourselves. But of course, we want to say thank you to Vice Chancellor. Thank you so very much for
My pleasure.
being with us, Sheson Kwade. Thank you
Pleasure
so very
always.
much, Emeka Madunago. Thank you as always. I really truly enjoyed our discussion today, and I want to believe you also did. So please visit our site for more information on these and more at enterprisetvnews.com. That's our website, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I'm Henry Gwebike. I'll see you soon. Bye bye from us.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.